For invocation, palvuseks paluks ette õpetaja Enno Uusmäe.
Armsad sõbrad, mul on hea meel, et koos Ameerika Ühendriikide ja Eesti Vabariigi lipuga on täna toodud siia ka Ukraina värvid. Ma ei ole kunagi rääkinud ukraina keelt, aga täna tahaksin proovida. Nimelt soovin lugeda ühe poeemi või õigemini paar salmi ühest poeemist, mille autor on ilmselt tuntuim Ukraina poetess 1871. aastal 25. veebruaril sündinud ja 1. augustil 1913 surnud Lesja Ukrainka. Dear friends, I have never spoken Ukrainian, but today I would like to try. Namely, I would like to read a poem, or rather a few stanzas from a poem by probably the best known Ukrainian poetess, Lesya Ukrainka, born on February 25th, 1871, died on August 1st, 1913. Ma ei saa päriselt öelda, et kuulun tema austajate hulka, seda peamiselt seetõttu, et tema poliitilised vaated olid minu omadest väga erinevad. Ühes need siiski kattuvad. Nagu tema oli oma rahva patrioot ja tema unistuseks oli vaba Ukraina, nii tahan minagi alati seista oma rahva ja riigi vabaduse ja iseseisvuse eest. I can't really say that I'm one of her admirers, mainly because her political views were very different from mine. However, they certainly overlap in one thing. Just as she was a patriot of her people and her dream was a free Ukraine, so I always want to stand up for the freedom and independence of my people and my country. Olgu nende poliitiliste vaadetega, kuidas on. Mäletate, kuidas üks president Ronald Reaganit pärast talle tehtud atentaati opereerinud arstidest ütles: täna, Mr. President, me oleme kõik vabariiklased. Nii võin minagi öelda, et kuigi oleme kogunenud siia tähistama Eesti Vabariigi aastapäeva, oleme täna kõik ukrainlased. You probably remember how one of the doctors said when President Ronald Reagan was shot, today, Mr. President, we are all Republicans. So I can say that although we have gathered here to celebrate the anniversary of the Republic of Estonia, today we are all Ukrainians. Ma loen need luuleread esmalt ukraina ja siis eesti keeles. Ingliskeelset tõlget mul kahjuks ei ole. Kui siin peaks olema mõni minust parem ukraina keele tundja, ma mäletan, et eelmisel korral, kui Eesti Vabariigi aastapäeva tähistasime, oli meiega koos üks Ukraina perekond, siis ehk aitate neid, kes ei oska ei ukraina ega eesti keelt. I read the poem first in Ukrainian and then in Estonian. Unfortunately, I do not have an English translation. If there should be someone whose Ukrainian is better than mine, I remember the last time we celebrated the anniversary of the Republic of Estonia, we had an Ukrainian family with us. Then maybe they will help those who do not speak Ukrainian nor Estonian. Palun kõigil Ukraina asjatundjatel andestada mu vale hääldus. Стороненко рідна, кохані мій краю, чого все замовкло в тобі, саніміло? Де неде осветься та шина несміла, немов перед бурею в темному хаю. Я знову замовкне, як глухо, як тихо, ой лихо. Ой, йдеш по ті воле, ти зоре таємна, чому ти не сідеш на землю із неба, осяяти землю безщасною треба. Ти бачиш, як ще в нас покрила ніч темна, ти чуєш, як правду неправда скрізь борє, ой горе. О, люде мій бідний, моя ти родина, брати мої в Богі, закуті кайдіна. Палаю страшний, незакоєні рани, на лоні у тебе, моя Україна. Корміху тяжку, хто розбит нам поможе, oi Боже. Kus oled sa, Priius, täht kauge ja valge? Miks ometi taevast ei lasku sa alla? Miks pisarais maale sa valgust ei kalla? Sa näed ju, on pimedus matnud kõik palged, tõest saanud on valskus. Sa tunned ju seda, oh häda. Mu rahvas, su pärast äng pigistab rinda. Mu vennad, mil ahelaist vabaks nad saavad? Ah, põletav valusad kurnavad haavad. Ukraina, mu ema, on löödud su rinda. Kes aitaks meid tõusta ja pääseda vaevast? Oh taevas! See luuletus on täis valu ja igatsust. See on väga sarnane paljude Eesti luuletajate valule ja igatsusele. Esimesena tuleb meelde Liidia Koidula ning seejärel võib-olla sarnase prohvetliku vaate tõttu Juhan Liiv. This poem is full of pain and longing. It is very similar to the pain and longing expressed by many Estonian poets. Liidia Koidula comes to mind first, and then, perhaps because of a similar prophetic way of seeing things, Juhan Liiv. Valust ja igatsusest hoolimata ei ole need read lootusetud. Pigem ongi nad, nagu ütlesin, prohvetlikud. Poeet ei oleks neid ridu kirjutanud, kui ta poleks uskunud, et see, mida ta igatseb, võib kord tõeks saada. Despite the pain and longing, these verses are not hopeless. Rather, they are, as I said, prophetic. The poet would not have written these words if she had not believed that what she is longing for could come true. Tahan siit minna pühakirja juurde. Prohvet Jeremiia raamatust võime lugeda. nõnda ütleb Issand, raamast kuuldakse häält, halinat, kibedat nuttu, Raahel nutab oma poegi. Ta ei lase ennast rööstida oma poegade pärast, sest neid ei ole enam. nõnda ütleb Issand, keela oma häält nutmast ja silmi pisaraid valamast, sest su teol on tasu, ütleb Issand. Ja nad tulevad tagasi vaenlase maalt. Sul on lootust tulevikuks, ütleb Issand. Su lapsed tulevad tagasi oma maale. I'd like to read now a few short scripture passages. First, from the book of Jeremiah the prophet. Thus saith the Lord, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children, refused to be comforted for her children, because they were not. Thus saith the Lord, refrain thy voice from weeping, and thine eyes from tears, for thy work shall be rewarded, saith the Lord. And they shall come again from the land of the enemy, and there is hope in thine end, saith the Lord, that thy children shall come again to their own border. Lisan targa Saalomoni sõnad. Ärge otsige surma oma elu eksiteel ja ärge tooge hukatust oma käte tegudega, sest Jumal ei ole teinud surma ega tunne rõõmu elavate hukkumisest. Tema on ju kõik loonud, et see jääks, ja mis maailmas on sündinud, on tarvilik. Selles ei ole hukatuse mürki, maa peal ei ole surmavalla valitsust, sest õigus on surematu. Armastus on tarkuse seaduse täitmine. Seaduste tähelepanemine omakorda tagab surematuse. Surematus aga annab, et ollakse Jumala lähedal. And from the book of wisdom, seek not death in the error of your life, neither procure ye destruction by the works of your hands. For God made not death, neither hath he pleasure in the destruction of the living. For he created all things that they might be, and he made the nations of the earth for health. And there is no poison of destruction in them, nor kingdom of hell upon the earth. For justice is perpetual and immortal. And the care of discipline is love, and love is the keeping of the laws. And the keeping of the laws is the firm foundation of incorruption. And incorruption bringeth near to God. Mis on meil panna vastu vägivallale ja valele? Ainult tõde ja armastus. Armastus Jumala, oma ligimese, oma maa ja rahva, vabaduse ja tõe vastu. Kui me selles püsime, siis oleme võitmatud. Pühakiri ütleb, et lausa surematud. How can we resist violence and falsehood? Only by truth and love. By loving God, our neighbor, our country and people, by loving freedom and truth of God. If we hold to it, if we hold on to it, we will be invincible. We will even be, as the scripture says, immortal. Eesti rahvast innustas kord hüüe, ükskord me võidame niikuinii. Soovin, et tahaksime ja oskaksime oma vabadust ja iseseisvust hinnata, sellest kinni hoida ja sellest püsida. Ning et tahaksime ja oskaksime sellest toetada ka neid, kes on meie kõrval. Neil päevil eriliselt oma vendi ja õdesid Ukrainas. The Estonian people were once inspired by the slogan, ükskord me võidame niikuinii. One day we will win anyway. I hope we are still able to value, respect, and stick to our freedom and independence. And that we are also able and willing to support those who are currently fighting for their country, their people, and their freedom. in these days especially our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. Õnnistatud Eesti Vabariigi, õnnistatud vabaduse ja iseseisvuse aastapäeva teile kõigile. Õnnistagu ja hoidku teid kõige väeline ja halastaja Jumal, Isa ja Poeg ja Püha Vaim. I wish a blessed anniversary of Estonia, a blessed anniversary of freedom and independence to all of you. May the Almighty and merciful God bless and keep you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
For our greetings for today, I think I'll go straight by the what's on the list here. Finland had a different Consul General last year and several years before. We're happy to honor and see him for the first time, and we're very happy to have Okko-Pekka Salmimies here at the Estonian House. So, please.
Thank you very much. It is my first time here. It's not my first time actually celebrating the independence of Estonia. It's a great honor to be here, and I'm actually relatively new. And as was said before, our thoughts are very much today with our brothers and sisters in Ukraine, and we know how much we value it and how much our sister and brother nation Estonia valuates the independence. So I'm very happy to be here to celebrate the independence of Estonia, the 104th Independence Day. I didn't actually prepare any speech, so this was a very nice gesture for me to say hello to the Estonian community. And I wanted to say that I almost envy the beautiful house you have, the Estonia House. It is amazing, very impressive, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
So next we have the Consul General from Lithuania, Laima Jurevičienė.
At first, dear Estonians, dear friends of Lithuania, I would like to congratulate you on 104th anniversary of Estonian independence. All team of the Consulate General of Lithuania wish everyone to you feel power of unity, to keep faith and to be proud of your country. Lithuania and Estonia always enjoyed friendly bilateral relations based on respect for common values. We have overcome many difficulties and challenged of our historical pathway. After regaining independence, each of our countries has made huge progress in implementing democracy, rule of law, economic freedom, and developing a strong national defense. We could say today that as members of European Union and NATO, our countries have never been secure as it is today. But, many but. But these days, after open large-scale, unprovoked, and unjustified invasion of Ukraine by armed forces of the Russian Federation, we have to remember another truth. Freedom is not a gift. The struggle for freedom never ends. This is the most dangerous moment of European security for generations. It is now crucial to mobilize the efforts of the entire international community. We know that freedom means everything, and we must support Ukraine by all possible means. By helping Ukraine to defend itself, we are helping Europe too. Our communities here in the United States, here in Los Angeles, can do a lot. We, like our Lithuanian community, we're joining Ukrainian different kinds of actions of support. And I'm very proud that yesterday in Santa Monica Boulevard, a lot of people came to support Ukrainians. It was really, really peaceful action of support. Like you Estonians, like we Lithuanians, with singing revolution, we did a lot. So we help Ukrainians Fathers and mothers, there yesterday was many children who also need our support. They need to live in free country. I believe that only by standing united, we can contribute to the common goal of preserving stability and strengthening security in the Baltic region in Europe. In unity is our strength. Let's stay strong and united. Long years of prosperity to Estonia. Ella Goesti. Slava Ukraini.
Next, representing Latvia, someone who's been here before, Dr. Juris Punkis. And we're glad to have him back.
Leadership of the Estonian Society of Los Angeles, Reverend Suredik Prik, fellow consuls, fellow Balts, and guests. We celebrated this day a year ago virtually. It is so nice to be here in person with all of you this year to celebrate Estonia's 104th anniversary of its independence. I would like to express my congratulations to all of you from the Los Angeles Latvian community, as well as from Ambassador Selga in Washington, D.C., who this morning sent me an email congratulating all of you on your independence. Today, as we've all said, is a celebration of Estonia's independence. This day represents the Estonian people's ability to free themselves from foreign domination, control, and influence. The initial independence came in the aftermath of World War I and was a very complex issue with very many different factions fighting, but Estonians prevailed. This was not just the Estonians, not just for the Estonians, but also for the Finns, the Balts, the Poles. We all got our independence roughly the same time. We've all been taught in school about the fight that led to independence, and the Latvians are always very grateful to the Estonians for helping us defeat the Russians in our northern part of our country. This is a day of celebration, but I find it very difficult to be joyful knowing what is happening in Ukraine. The unprovoked attack by Russia is an unacceptable violation of international law and must be condemned at the highest level. Russia has failed to divide us, and the EU and NATO are stronger than they've ever been. The Ukrainians surprised Russia and the rest of the world by the stiff resistance which they have mounted. Ukrainians, too, yearn for self-determination and independence, and we have to do whatever we can to help them as a free world. Not just sanctions, but also defensive weapons are a must for the Ukrainians. The Latvian Deputy Prime Minister, Artis Pabriks, today had a very interesting tweet. He recommended that the West announce that any Russian soldiers who defect to the Ukrainian side get asylum in the West. And I think that might be very harmful to Putin. Putin has gone so far as to threaten Finland and Sweden, and yes, I do hope that both of them join NATO at some point. Talks between the two sides have been scheduled to begin tomorrow, but Putin is not a very good loser, and God knows what he will do if he is losing the battle in Ukraine. We live in precarious times. There is so much that can go wrong with an invasion. Conflict can spill beyond the borders, and yes, I've received calls from Latvian relatives as well, and they're all very, very scared over there. Yes, Poland, Romania, the Baltics were all part of NATO, and Article 5 should protect us, but it is just so scary just to think what could happen if this conflict gets out of hand and if nuclear weapons get used. Thank you for this invitation to be in your midst on this special day. I wish all of you a very pleasant Estonian Independence Day. I ask you not to forget Ukraine and the Baltics in your everyday lives. God bless the Baltics and protect us. God bless a free and independent Estonia forever.
Next, representing the city of Los Angeles and Mayor Garcetti's office, Sarah Pia Kim.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here at Estonian House. Thank you so much, Renee, for the invitation, and thank you to all the consul generals and the honorary consuls and all the guests here. And thank you, everyone who complimented on my makeup today. Thank you as well. Yes. So here as a representative for Mayor Garcetti in Los Angeles, I would like to echo the sentiments that LA as a whole stands in solidarity with the people of Ukraine, and as a small token of that solidarity, yesterday City Hall was lit up with the colors of the Ukrainian flag. We often do this when we commemorate at important events, and the mayor certainly extends his solidarity as well. Yesterday, he publicly, or 2 days ago, he publicly stated that Angelina support our Ukrainian brothers and sisters in this moment of fear and pain. And as we have heard in the poem that was beautifully read, while I do not unfortunately understand it, I really, we all really echo the themes and the pain and the suffering that is going on. And the mayor also stated, noted that there are thousands of Ukrainian Americans living here in LA. They call Los Angeles home, and when our motherland gets attacked, it brings pain to all the nearby nations and diasporas living abroad. And lastly, the mayor also likes to echo that Americans will always stand up for democracy around the world, and he noted that this unprovoked attack will have consequences for Russia. And I know today we're celebrating the Independence Day for Estonia, and as a commemoration, as Mayor likes to tell, never go to a place empty-handed, always bring a little token of appreciation. I would like to read the certificate of recognition that the mayor has signed for today's occasion, and to read it aloud. Whereas the Republic of Estonia gained independence on February 24th, 1918, and whereas Los Angeles celebrates its vibrant Estonian community, and whereas we congratulate Estonia on being a pioneer in digital governance, and whereas we reflect on our partnership in research and innovation, so on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the Mayor of the City of LA congratulates the 104th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Estonia, and hereby signed by Mayor Garcetti.
Järgmiseks kutsuksin ette aukonsuli Jaak Treimann.
Well, obviously we have a theme going here, theme of Ukraine, and we've expressed fully our concern with what is happening there, our sympathy with the Ukrainians, but during the last couple of days, one of the thoughts that came to my mind was from the book of Ecclesiastes. It's a well-known section. To everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under the heaven. This particular passage was in the 60s. I think Pete Seeger made it into a song. It was sung by any number of performers, and the passage goes on, and not completely verbatim, but it goes on to say that there is a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And then, not in the song, but in the Bible passage, it also says, there's a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And I think now is our time to speak. We have expressed our concern, we have expressed our sympathies, but it's also time that we do something. And I think there are a lot of things that each one of us as individuals can do to help Ukraine. Certainly there are demonstrations that are taking place. I think BAFL is sending out bulletins about when and where the demonstrations take place. Many of you probably received these bulletins. If you don't, go to the website for the Ukraine Cultural Center. They list the time and place for the demonstrations. But there's more to it than just demonstrating. You know, Estonians are always reluctant to demonstrate. Back in the 80s, when we were demonstrating for Estonian independence, I think we were the only demonstrators that would go out in a suit and coat and tie. What the heck, we can still do that. But I'm curious, what else do you think we can do? What do you think? Renee? Any thoughts? And I warned you ahead of time.
Okay.
5 words or less.
Okay. I have 5 words. I don't need the mic, I think. I'm
For
okay.
5 words, you better not.
Yeah. So I think the main thing is community, overall community and unity. And that means that talk to your friends, make everybody active and be active. Just being on social media doesn't do much. I mean, it's fun. It was more than 5 words already. But you have to be active as a human being. And the best thing which will ever defend freedom is from people to people, that we care about each other.
And there's additional stuff. Do a letter to the editor. Even if it doesn't get published, it counts because it tells the newspaper what is of interest to the readership, and their news coverage will follow that interest. So letters to the editor, even if they don't get published, are very useful. If you have more energy, an op-ed piece always works well. The flying the flag, participating in the demonstrations. We haven't had for a long time these conferences. We used to have human rights conferences. And it's kind of a shame that we stopped having those, because even before Putin's excursion into Ukraine, there's a lot that can be said for human rights and the struggle for human rights. And I don't know who better to put out that story than Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Why would we be doing all this? Obviously the immediate goal is to help the Ukrainians in their fight, their literal fight, with the Russian forces that are coming in. But I think we also have to remember that this fight is more than just about territoriality. The reason we're fighting for sovereignty, for the right to sovereignty, is because the Ukrainians and the Balts and everybody else deserves the right to be able to make up their own mind as to how they will be governed, who will they be governed by, what kind of profession they will follow. They are entitled, we are entitled to the right to make mistakes. That is something that is at risk It's not just the sovereignty of Ukraine, but it's the rights that go with that sovereignty, the rights that the people have. I'm not, honestly, I'm not sure how to end this. When I, 2 days ago, or when, on the 24th, when the incursion, when the invasion began, I was up all hours. I don't have a television, but I do have a computer, and I was tracking things. And the last times that I felt as I did then, as I feel now, sort of in 1956 during the Hungarian Revolution, but I was too young to fully appreciate that. But definitely during 1968, the Prague Spring and the Soviet forces going into Prague, that kept me up almost all night. I was up in Chicago, and then followed by Tiananmen Square, and now we have this. So what I come back to is that we can feel terrible, we can sympathize, but we need to do something also. And that's what I urge you to do. When this is through, let's go out and fly the flag, take part in a demonstration, write a letter to the editor, talk to your neighbors, make noise. Because right now, looking at the most recent news, the sanctions are snowballing. British Petroleum has withdrawn its interest from the Russian oil company. The Estonians had 30,000 people out demonstrating yesterday in support of Ukraine. Even in Iran, there were demonstrations supporting Ukraine. So we need to make enough noise so that the Russian people feel like piranhas, so that they understand what an embarrassment Putin is to them and to the world. If we make enough noise, maybe we can eliminate the sore. Thank you.
Next performing for us is Doraliisa Meriste with a song that we young people will recognize instantly. It's a song about intolerance and tolerance, and I think when you reflect on the words and lyrics, realizing that if we were all a little bit more tolerant, the world would be a better place. So Doraliisa,
Only heaven I'll be sent to.
punased ajad, nagu praegu on, meil on suur au, et aktuse kõne on täna Eesti suursaadiku poolt härra Kristjan Prikk, kes on leidnud aega tulla meid külastama siin. As awful as the times are right now, we're deeply honored to have the Estonian ambassador to the United States here with us today, understanding that there are a lot of things going on. So without any further ado, herra Kristjan Prikk.
Thank you so much. And it's a distinct honor and pleasure to have this opportunity to be with you today in LA. These definitely are difficult times, hectic times, so actually I had to cut my visit from both ends. Yesterday I spoke at the Latvian House in San Francisco, where the Estonians celebrated the Independence Day in the Bay Area. And tomorrow I was supposed to have a few engagements here in LA, but I have to fly away this evening, so I had to change the plans. Still, I'm really happy and honored to have this opportunity to be with you today and here. Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, today marks the celebration of 104th anniversary of the independence of Republic of Estonia. We, Estonians and friends of Estonia, can be really proud of the accomplishments of Estonia during the past 100 plus years. Estonia has established a very strong name. I think I'm very fair when I say that Estonia is one of these countries that can claim to punch above its weight. Every week, every day, when I meet my colleagues, when I meet different people in Washington or in any other place in the US, I'm positively surprised to see how many of them know something about Estonia, have been to Estonia, and even more importantly, the perception of Estonia is overwhelmingly, I would say 100%, if not more, positive. No country ever has too many friends, and certainly the small countries do not have too many friends. So we appreciate the friends, we appreciate the people who care about Estonia, know something about Estonia. Now I'm switching partly to Estonian. Lugupeetud saalisviibijad, sel nädalal sai Eesti Vabariik 104 aastat vanaks. Me kõik teame seda lugu, kuidas 1918. aastal veebruaris keset maailmasõja keeriseid suudeti meie rahva kasuks ära kasutada ajaloo väga üürikest võimalust ning tekitati midagi, milleni vaid vähesed rahvad on maailmas jõudnud. Meie oma riik, ja see on see koht, kus tuleb samamoodi Juhan Liim meelde. Meie oma riik, see kõlab uhkelt ja ilusalt. Ja meie iseseisva ajalugu sellest 104 aastast ongi olnud uhke ja ilus. Eesti nimi on maailmas palju rohkem tuntud, kui meie suurus laseks eeldada. ja nende hulgas, kes Eestist midagi teavad, on Eesti kuvand, Eesti maine ülekaalukalt positiivne. Nagu ma ütlesin enne teises keeles, mitte ühelgi riigil pole mitte kunagi liiga palju sõpru. Mitte ühelgi riigil ei ole mitte kunagi liiga palju positiivset tähelepanu. Aga ma arvan, et ma ütlen õigesti, kui ma ütlen, et väikesed riigid saavad sellest ehk ka suurtest riikidest paremini aru. Väikesed riigid saavad ehk paremini aru sellestki, et iga oma inimene, iga Eesti sõber on meie jaoks tohutu väärtus. Ka teie siin saalis olijate igapäevaste hoiakute, teie uudishimulikkuse, töökuse ja tarkuse toel on kujunenud inimeste positiivne suhtumine meie oma Eestisse. Suur aitäh teile selle eest! Ei saa minagi sellest tänasest teemast eemale. Oleksin täna tahtnud rääkida rohkem Eestist, Eesti ja USA suhetest ja sellestki, et tänavu tähistavad Eesti ja USA 100 aastat diplomaatilisi suhteid. 28. juulil 1922 oli see hetk, kui suur USA riik leidis, et Eesti Vabariik, nagu ka Läti, Leedu, on piisavalt küpsed, piisavalt püsivad asjad maailmakaardil, et nendega diplomaatilised suhted sõlmida. Võin teile lühidalt kinnitada, et Eesti ja USA suhted on täna eriliselt tugevad. Washingtonis Eestit esindades saan igapäevaselt tunda ainult kõige lähedasematele liitlastele omast usaldust ja üksmeelt. See tähendab lähedust nii headel, väga headel päevadel, aga ka rasketel hetkedel, rasketel päevadel. Täna ja praegu on kindlasti üks nendest rasketest perioodidest, rasketest päevadest. Aga siin ma saangi tuua näite, et hoolimata sellest, et on nädalavahetus, hoolimata sellest, et kõigil on nii-öelda kiire, olen mina ka sel nädalavahetusel korduvalt suhelnud oma USA kolleegidega USA välisministeeriumist, State Departmentist ja Valgest Majast. See kõik näitab seda, et Eesti ei ole maailma asjades lihtsalt üks riik, kes nii-öelda peab võtma teadmiseks, et midagi juhtub, vaid Eesti on riik, kellest midagi oleneb, Eesti on riik, kelle käest küsitakse nõu, Eesti on riik, kellega konsulteeritakse ja üle Eesti pea ei saa neid olulisi asju teha. Loomulikult on sel nädalal olnud teemaks just Venemaa poolt põhjalikult, ettekavatsetult, väga põhjalikult. See ei ole olnud mingisugune Vladimir Putini uitmõte, vaid see on olnud pikaajaline plaan. Ja alatult toimub kallaletung Ukrainale, ühele väga toredale Euroopa riigile. Ma loodan, et paljud teist on Ukrainas käinud, ukrainlastega kokku puutunud, kes ei ole, soovitan seda teha. President Alar Karis ütles eile Tallinna Vabaduse väljakule kogunenud circa 30 000 inimesele. 30 000. Rohkem kui 2% Eesti elanikkonnast. Mõelge nüüd, USA's, mis oleks see puhk, mis tooks kokku 6-7 miljonit inimest. President Karis ütles nendele inimestele, praegu Ukrainas toimuv ei ole Vene rahva sõda. See on president Putini sõda. Ma olen president Karisega 100% nõus. Teistpidi tahan ma ka öelda seda, et see võitlus, mida Ukraina praegu peab, just neil hetkedel keegi kusagil jälle on varjendis, just neil hetkedel keegi ootab järgmist Vene tanki. See on võitlus, kus Ukraina sõdib ka meie eest. Kaitses oma vabadust, kaitsevad ukrainlased tegelikult ka Eestit. Aga veelgi rohkem, tegelikult kaitseb Ukraina praegu ka Portugali või Jaapani või USA vabadust. See, mis praegu toimub, ja ma olen väga nõus sellega, mida härra Jaak Treimann ütles, kui ta tuletas meelde 56. aastat, 68. aastat, Tiananmeni. See, mis praegu toimub, on osa autoritaarse ja demokraatliku maailma jõhkrast kokkupuutest või kokkupõrkest. Kokku põrkavad kaks fundamentaalselt erinevat arusaama maailmast, riigist ja üksikisiku rollist. Mõned on öelnud, et president Putin tegi vea, sest võttis Ukrainat vaid kui territooriumit ja rahvamassi, kellel pole oma õigusi ja oma arvamust. Mina usun, et täpselt nii ongi. Venemaal usutakse, et rahvas on riigi teenistuses. Ukrainas, nagu ka Eestis või USAs, usub rahvas, et riik teenib inimest või rahvast. Me ei tea veel täpselt, kuidas see sõda edasi areneb. Me ei tea veel täpselt, kuidas see sõda lõpeb. Kahjuks me teame hästi, et enne selle sõja lõppu lõpevad veel paljude inimeste elud. Veel rohkemate inimeste elud pööratakse täiesti pea peale. Mis on aga täiesti selge, on see, et Ukraina on teinud vabale maailmale juba praegu teene. Ta on teinud teene sellega, et on taas meelde tuletanud, kuidas kurjusele ei saa järele anda ja peab vastu astuma. So, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, our thoughts and prayers today are together with Ukraine, and I think all of you have followed the events in Kyiv, in Kharkiv, in other cities in Ukraine, with a lot of concern, anger, angst. I think what is important is the fact that the Ukrainian nation that is currently fighting for their own freedom, liberty, and dignity is actually not only fighting for themselves, but they are fighting also for our freedom, liberty, and dignity. When I say our, I'm not only referring to Estonia or Lithuania or Latvia or Finland, but I think it's actually the freedom, liberty, and dignity of the collective West. They've already done a great favor to all of us by reminding that when facing evil, we cannot give in, we cannot appease, but we have to face it and resist it. Üks erinevatele autoritele omistatud tuntud tsitaat võtab selle kõige loo juures kokku meie vastutuse. Ja see on jällegi koht, kus ma olen väga nõus sellega, mida härra Jaak Treimann enne ütles, mida mitmed teised siin on öelnud, ja ma ei ole seda enne kokku leppinud. See tsitaat kõlab: The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Meie siin saalis, meie laiemalt, me ei tohi olla need head inimesed, kes vaatavad pealt teiste riikide tragöödiat ja ei tee mitte midagi. Õnneks ma saan öelda, et Eesti teeb midagi. Me oleme Euroopa Liidus ja NATOs olnud esirinnas Venemaa sanktsioonidest rääkides, Ukraina toetamise ja ka lääne poliitilise ühtsuse arendajatena. Me püüame suruda ka teisi riike tegema seda, mis on meie arvates moraalselt õige. Ja kui te olete nüüd jälginud viimaste päevade sündmusi maailmas, siis te näete, et on toimunud mingisugune kardinaalne nihe, on toimunud laviin. Teod, mis veel nädal aega tagasi arvati ei ole võimalikud, on järsku võimalikud. Seisukohad, mis veel nädal aega tagasi ei olnud võimalikud, on järsku võimalikud. Ukraina on mõnes mõttes vabastanud ülejäänud lääne mingisugusest kammitsast, mis ei ole lasknud alati teha õigeid asju, öelda õigeid asju ja teha õigeid asju. So, our duty as representatives of free world is to not just stand by when ugly things are happening with to Ukraine and in Ukraine. What I'm proud to say is that Estonia is not standing by, and together with many other of our close allies and partners, including our Baltic allies, including Finland, we've been in the forefront of this wave of action and wave of policy statements that has now become prevalent, I would say. Particularly over this weekend, we've seen that many things that were never thought to be possible in terms of both political support to Ukraine, but also very candid, very harsh condemnation of Russian activities. Also practical, economic and military help to Ukraine has started to become possible. And this is so very important, not only from the practical point of view, but also because this gives hope to Ukrainian people that they are not alone in the fight and they get the kind of support and attention that they deserve. Now, daamid ja härrad, Ukrainas praegu toimuva tõttu tundub, ma loodan, Eesti 104. iseseisvuse aastapäev ja Eesti enda saavutatu ja olukord tänasel päeval ilmselt kõigile veel eriliselt võimas, eriliselt ilus. Praegu Ukrainas toimuv paneb ilmselt meist kõiki senisest veelgi rohkem hindama Eestit ja seda arengut, mis Eestis on toimunud. 104 aastat on maailma riikide hulgas juba täiesti arvestatav panus. Keskmiselt on maailma riigid nooremad kui 104 aastat. Aga me oleme oma teekonnal alles alguses. Ja ma loodan, et me kõik pingutame koos selleks, et sellest 104-st saaks ilusti 114, 154, 204 ja nii edasi. Selleks on vajalikud kõigi meie pingutused, ükskõik kas me elame siin LA-s, kusagil mujal, Ameerikas, Brüsselis või Eestis. Pingutagem koos selleks. Elagu Eesti ja nii nagu siin täna ennegi on öeldud, ma ütlen tänase päeva puhul siis ka Slava Ukraini.
Please rise for the Estonian